Welcome back to the episode, everybody. And in this episode, I'm going to show you my new Canadian Tire Certified Snowblower. And yeah, it's an entry-level one, but it's got some good packed features for you. So I'm just going to go over some of those features and some of, the care and maintenance that owners with small engines should undertake. Starting with, yes, you guessed it, MOM, Manufacturer's Owner's Manual. It's very important that we look at what the manufacturer sets out, not only to assemble it properly, but also for care and maintenance. These machines are very well designed and can give us years and years and years of trouble-free operation as long as we look at the owner's manual and go what the manufacturer specifications are. So we're going to go a little bit in depth on what those maintenance tips are and some of the tricks and some of the stuff that I feel is important to keep these engines running for years to come. I mean, it's part of driving, keeping our driveway clear, getting our vehicle in and out of the garage or on the driveway. These machines have a lot of help that they can give us, and yeah, definitely we'll be able to have years of trouble-free snow operation. I did add one small option to this that they don't sell, but that I've done. I did add an hour meter, and that's going to just help me maintain proper oil change intervals and adjustment intervals as well. So I can't stress how much important it is to keep the specifications spelled out in your owner's manual up to date, and this thing here will give you years and years of operation without any issues. So come on over here and we'll kind of take a look at some of these features and the gasoline and the oil that I use in this in particular machine and in all my machines for that matter. So come on and take a better look. Okay, everybody, let's start looking at the engine oil that I use. I use a Mobil 1 Advanced Fuel Economy. It's a full synthetic. This engine does require a 030 oil by the manufacturer, and it's Dexos approved, so it's a Gen 2 oil. Now, for those who look at engine oil, a lot of people do have a lot of preference in it. I prefer Mobil products because they're very top quality. These are this type of oils recommended for use in like the Callaway Corvettes, the Shelbys, and all the other type of high performance vehicles. Mobil 1 has done an excellent formula and has a top end quality. So I feel that it's worth the extra cost in all my machines. Now you can get a different oil in here as long as it's a 030. Again, just look at the manufacturer suggested oil requirements on your particular machine. As long as you meet the weight rating, that'll be acceptable. I just like Mobil 1. I use it in all my products, and I find that it's a great product that does protect the engine, and I get a lot of years of service out of my machines. Again, when you're handling anything with gas and oil, make sure you wear some plastic nitrile gloves. This way your hands don't get dirty. Everything will look nicer and cleaner, and if you do spill something or it runs over, it's not going to get on your skin and irritate it. So again, always make sure that you do wear some proper protection when you're handling fuel and oil. But yeah, so this is the Mobil 1. It's a 030 again, and that's what I use. And I will change it at the 25-hour intervals set out in the manufacturer's owner's manual. So guys, let's go talk about some fuel and gasoline, and where I'm going to lead with that is with the ethanol in our gas. So let's go and talk about fuel. So in every machine that I have now, I'm going to convert to ethanol-free fuel, which means I'm going to have to use the 91 and higher octane sold at fuel outlets in throughout Alberta. The fuel that I do use does come from a Mobil gas station, just that it offers a lot of protection and has what I'm looking for as a consumer with its additives. So I prefer Mobil 1. Again, you can get other brands that have zero ethanol. When it comes to ethanol, it's an alcohol-based additive, and the problem with that is that it contains water. Yes, and in small engines, it's destructive in carburetors, metal gas tanks, rubber fuel lines, especially when it sits over long periods of time, and it will start deteriorating that. I don't use it in my cars anymore. The Fifth Avenue here, I will not use ethanol in there. My dirt bikes, I do not use ethanol-based fuels in it. I have used regular unleaded in the Kawasaki, which now I'm going to start to convert to ethanol-free, which is the 91. Also, the Bricklin SV1 is always getting non-ethanol fuel, which is a 91 octane or higher ratings. So with that said, another one that I'm going to be converting over very shortly is my 2013 Silverado with the 5.3 LS engine in it. That there will see non-ethanol additive fuels. So again, guys, what you want to do though is when you do fill up, you want to make sure you do it outside. You want to make sure that it's not near any spark or anything that can cause any issues. With fuel, if you're not using 91, you're just using any type of fuel, you want it to make sure that it is nice and clear, not cloudy. And it's usually a good idea to replace it after 90 days. That's when it starts to break down, especially if it contains ethanol in it. So yes, everybody, stay away from ethanol. It's not good in these small engines. If you do happen to use ethanol and that's the only thing available to you, use a fuel additive like a stabilizer in it and try to run the tank clean as much as possible. So it'll kind of prevent the negative effects of ethanol. I know in the US, they have just announced that they can put up to 15% ethanol, E15, so E10, E15. And as you can see on this one here, not sure if you could read that too well, it says no E15 and no E85. Again, very destructive in there. So follow the manufacturer, so what they suggest. I know I posted on the Canadian Tire website, and they say use a fresh, good, clean gasoline that has an ethanol rating of less than 10%. And keep in mind, regular unleaded is 10% ethanol. So you want something used less than that. So at a very minimum, use fuel stabilizer if you have to, or use the mid-grade, and that'll get you to the 5%. But I prefer if it's eliminated altogether. So let's go in and just give a little bit of tips on how to properly add oil and where those locations are on this in particular certified 22-inch snowblower. So in addition of checking your oil per every use, you want to take some precautions when you need to refill it, and that includes a proper fill tube that came with the blower and a rag to wipe, clean, and check the dipstick. So you want to do this before every use, okay? So again, this is very vitally important. It's like blood for your inside your body. You want to make sure it's got the proper amount in there. You want to make sure it's clean. You have no contamination. So when you look at it, you want to wipe it clean. Okay, so always make sure you're doing the proper job for the proper tools. So make sure it's clean and check it. Screw it all the way in. Okay, this is prior to every use. Okay, and if you need to add, just add the quite amount. Add very little, keep checking. It's better to do it. This one's down just a little bit by two, not sure if you see that, by two triangles. I did fill it up, so I'll just add a little bit more in there once I get going on the next run. But that should be good. As long as it's in that area, you can do it. 0.30. Again, what you want to do is, this is if you're going to drain it, that's when you change it. So yeah, a couple importance, always read and understand the instructions. If you don't understand them, call the manufacturer, ask somebody who does understand it. This here has got it's a two-stage snowblower, so it's got the auger in the middle and then the one that spits it out in the front. Again, it's electric start, so you want to make sure the cord that you put in here is free of fraying and is damage-free. If it gets very, very cold, you might want to use a block heater cord. They maintain more flexibility. But it does have the pull start as well if you're not near a cable and you're out in the middle of the driveway and you have to shut it off for whatever reasons. Make sure all your cables are in good shape, that they flick back, that you understand the proper mechanisms. Again, this spells out in your owner's manual. Here it comes with a whole bunch of instructions that I was talking about. Also, what I did add, I told you, which is the hour meter here. This way I can keep track of how many hours I put on it and put the proper amount of maintenance in as required by the owner's manual. These are about $30, $30, $40, and they just wrap around the spark plug and they can check your RPM, or they just keep in mind for your hours. This one does have a fuel shut off as well. keep in mind. It's kind of reversed, I noticed here. If you look at the fuel, not sure if you can see that. I'll try to get that in there. It looks like it's the opposite. I had it off when it should be on. I just was kind of in a rush and looked at it. So yeah, those are some of the features. And of course, here you can kind of point where you want the chute to go. Although there is snow out here today, it's not enough to use any snow. There's no trial period with this one here yet. It's gonna have to go a little bit more. And that's it. So anyway, guys, that's a little bit of some tips that I have. If you have any questions, comments, just put them in below. And again, yeah, we'll keep this conversation going. So while this hasn't had exactly review of the vehicle, it's a tool that helps the vehicle get it in and out of your driveway and keeps everything clear and saves your back. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Stay loose and have fun.